And we're live. Welcome to another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I am joined today by three lovely folks. But before we get to them, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about our sponsor today, TechWeld USA. TechWeld USA made in a world filled with worry regarding overseas products. They offer many USA-made products to help separate themselves from the promotional pack. Hand sanitizers due to coronavirus outbreak. This is something that is trending worldwide. The CDC recommends sanitizers and washing hands to help prevent the spread of the disease. They have many hand sanitizers SKUs that could help combat the spread of the virus. The FDA compliance. They're FDA compliant on their products in a time of uncertainty. Knowledge that a product is FDA compliant is the key to allowing customers to feel at ease when placing an order. Custom packaging. At TechWeld, they like to create new every day. Their custom packaging division is a great example of this. Each box takes on a life of its own, and they can work to meet your custom specifications regarding packaging as well. Their SCP 101, SCP 200, and SCP 201 plus microfiber equals the perfect combination. Screen lens cleaner and microfiber cloth. When considering their SCP 200, 201, or SCP 101, a great product to couple with that would be a microfiber cloth. They have SKUs. They have many SKUs for microfiber cloths on their website. And sunglasses as well, like winners of the Distributor Choice Award for sunglasses. TechWeld won the 2019 Distributor Choice Award in the sunglass category. Many SKUs are FDA certified and offer UVA and UVB protection. They've also got cannabis products, including their new Leaf line. They've recently launched their cannabis line of products, and they would love word-of-mouth marketing to help promote the line. Come kit around with us. A little pun on words there. Innovative to push kits. They have 8 different stock packaging for their kits: EVA bag, PVC tent pouch, PVC tube, organza bag, pillow pouch, BTL 202 30-ounce tumbler, and a retro lunchbox. Not many players in the industry are focusing too heavily on kits, which allow them to hone in on how to market these products and expand upon the already vast kit line that they have. Full color process lunchboxes, whether it's a decal imprint or a full color imprint, TechWeld's full color capabilities on their lunchboxes definitely set them apart from the pack. Visit www.techweld.com now to see full color capabilities on their lunchboxes. Acrylic awards, custom acrylic pieces, awards, phone stands, keychains, etc. Both stock and custom. Their acrylic line focuses on different kinds of items, like the items mentioned in these talking points. Produced at different sizes and with great quality. For the awards, it would be a great piece to promote incentive programs and promote professionalism at a reasonable cost. Visit techweld.com. So.
Thank you guys for joining us on today's Industry Insight.
Absolutely. So
listen, the whole podcast.
Listen, we're going to kick it to Taylor Borst. If you guys haven't noticed, we're joined today by special guest Taylor Borst with American Solutions for Business, and we're here to talk a little bit today about Spark. I'm sure you guys have heard of Spark by now, but Taylor, before we kick it off, why don't you just sort of give everybody the update on who Taylor Borst is, what you've been doing, how the coronavirus has affected your world, and just a 3 to 4 minute rundown of yourself and what's going on.
And we mute you after 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're cut off.
Am I going to get like closing music like at the Oscars?
Closing time.
No, Bobby Lee is just slowly going to come into the picture.
A big hook comes out and grabs you.
By the way, Stephen and Meg are eating into your 2 to 3 minutes, so you've now got like a minute and a half.
All right.
Yeah, 1:10.
Oh my gosh. Dang. Well, you guys, first off, thank you so much for having me on. This is so fun. You guys have done a great job in just keeping the industry updated on what's going on. So I actually in May, I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary with American Solutions for Business. So
congratulations.
Yes, they are my first, they're my first company that I've ever worked for actually out of college. So I did just start working for American right after I graduated. So, they've been extremely good to me. I feel like I've gotten to grow so much throughout each role that I've kind of moved up through the company. And so learned a lot, especially in these last 4 months. This is like the ultimate crash course. I was joking around with our president like a couple weeks ago, and I'm kind of just like talking about, oh my gosh, like I've never actually gone through like a economic issue when I have been in my actual career. So like I was, still in high school during 2008. Like I didn't experience that. So I feel like I'm learning so much with this. And a big role of mine, I feel like I no longer do my traditional day job, which I think everybody on this call, everybody listening can probably identify with for sure. So I've been spending the last 3 or 4 months kind of re-vetting our vendor network to make sure that they're honoring terms, they're not, going rogue, making sure that we have responsible supply chain for our sales associates, because we do have about 650 salespeople all over the country that we have to make sure that, they are they're stable, that they're not using all of these rogue options. On top of that, I've been trying to, keep content in front of our salespeople, because we do have a lot of people in the industry who maybe have more downtime than they've ever had before. So this is an excellent time to reinvest in yourself, to learn about our vendors and our customers and all the good ideas that are out there in the industry. So I do a daily video in our closed environment for our sales associates. So every day I feature a new idea, a new vendor, just to get that out into the world a little bit. So
you got plugged the other week about that, actually. Was it?
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, we did, because we can't imagine how much work goes in on the back end of that daily.
Yeah, and
content.
They're like 3 to 7 minute videos, and so it's a short window of time, but yeah, there is a little bit of planning, and there has to be a conversation with each vendor, and I have to get samples in, so it is kind of a process. And then on top of that, I have been doing two weekly webinars now, and so I'll partner with different vendors, and then we talk about one specifically about PPE and the medical supplies industry specifically. So I feel like I've learned so much about medical and about PPE, and I think everyone can identify with that and be like, if I have to talk about a mask or a hand sanitizer or a gown one more time, I am going to jump off a cliff. Like it is kind of crazy that that's our life now, but it's also kind of exciting, and we might need this information down the road too. So
like in Jeopardy, if we ever get called into Jeopardy and they need to know how much ethanol is supposed to be in hand sanitizer, we'll know.
Yes. Yes, for sure. It's good trivia.
Yeah, it has been a bit crazy, with the madness on, just a few PPE products. But to your point, it has been actually really thrilling as well. Like if you've been in the game at all, it has actually been quite the ride, and it's been a lot of fun. I will say, look, I would much rather be on the road traveling and doing the normal promotional product stuff, but it's been, I guess the silver lining, so to speak. It's helped sort of keep everything together, which has been good. So Stephen McFadden with Perfect Promotions and More, why don't you say hello to everybody? Say what's up.
Hello, what's up?
Awesome. That's exactly what I told you to say. Good job.
Good listener.
Meg Gerber with SNS Activewear. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Great day today. Sunny,
yeah.
warm.
It does look sunny there. That's good. That's very good. And so Taylor, like I said, we're here to talk about Spark, and so give us the rundown, because I know with all of the events that PPAI has had to sort of either postpone or cancel, Spark was sort of a casualty of that, but not entirely. There's something exciting coming up this month later, actually in just a couple weeks. And so why don't you give us the rundown on that and sort of what happened and that whole process, if you will.
Definitely. So as you can see, I am repping my Spark apparel from our in-person event last year. And I think we also have like a cool opportunity here, because I'm on the work group for Spark, but we have Steven, who is the current chair of the Spark group, of the Spark work group. And then Jeff, who was the OG chair on the Spark work group. So this is kind of a cool, we can talk about our experiences and kind of what we are seeing moving forward. But
we love you, Meg.
It's okay. I used to be the young one in the industry. It's cool. I'm fine. It's
Greg, we got to get
Well,
you
when
in.
Taylor said she was still in high school in 2008 and the economic downturn happened, like I was starting to feel the way that you're feeling. So I
Yeah.
get you. I'm
It's
right there with
okay.
you, Meg.
It's
I'm
all right.
not too far behind you actually. I think I've actually phased out of Spark. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
So
No,
do
you're
you,
always welcome. We're not cutting anybody off. But anyway, as Jeff mentioned, we are certainly in a weird position where a lot of events that, we kind of almost took for granted now looking back at it,
Yeah.
a lot of these are being canceled. And so, to protect everyone, we are doing a virtual event. So that's a really exciting opportunity here. So it is on July 16th. And the great news is that it is actually free to all PPE members. So, I mean, this is
PPAI?
kind of,
You got
what's that?
PPE on the brain. It's
Oh, did I say?
it's okay.
I'm a member of
in today's
PPE.
climate, it's forgivable.
All members of PPE.
Yeah.
No. All right, thanks for the catch, Stephen. But yes,
That's
okay,
awesome.
so you can tell I have like scars from this. So PPAI, they are waiving that fee. So now more than ever, Spark is so accessible to everyone in the industry who's interested. I know, sometimes it's tough to either get your young professionals there to find that room in the budget. So now, I mean, this is the time. It's a one-day event. There's going to be a lot of networking and education and just time to collaborate and meet other young professionals in the promotional product industry. The reason why I initially got so involved in Spark is because of the networking aspect. And, it's just so attractive to be able to find that group of peers in the industry, because we do have an incredibly connected industry, and it can feel really intimidating to be coming in from the outside. It feels like it's this, closed club. But I think what you realize when you start to meet more and more people, that everyone is so receptive, and, we're full of people, everybody
Yep.
in the industry, especially if you're involved in any sort of sales or relationship management, people tend to be very open and collaborative and, warm, and they want to meet you too. So it's just been a great experience. And then just working on the work group too, and having a little more say in how we structure things to kind of lead the way when it comes to, breaking the ice and getting things moving, and just making sure that everybody is involved.
Very cool. So, Stephen, from your standpoint as the chair this year of the work group, what is sort of your take on how everything went down?
Yeah, so I think I'd be remiss if I didn't give people a quick overview on what exactly Spark is.
Yeah, do
for
that,
those that
yeah.
don't know. So essentially, there's a couple different groups that PPAI has designed specifically to connect people in certain different demographics or groups. Obviously, there's a women's leadership group, and Spark is another organization or collection of individuals that PPI has rallied together through Spark. And Spark is designed for the younger in the industry, not necessarily inexperienced in the industry, targeted between 19 and 35 is the range. And, obviously that's not firm, but it's a pretty good range of what we have. And we have every year or we have a conference every year in person. We also have social events and community events that we do in Vegas every year. And really the pillars for Spark were networking, education, and community. And so we'd always try to do a community event, a give back event. Networking, as Taylor mentioned, is a strong focus, because whether you're 2 years in the industry, 2 weeks in the industry, or 10 years in the industry, you're going to have questions that pop up that are specifically related to just being young and being new in the industry. And a lot of people didn't know where to go, or who to talk to. So that was the origin of Spark. And it's been an awesome experience. I know for myself, I've been to every group and every conference, and it has evolved. This year, to speak to what you were saying, Jeff, I don't mind being fully transparent with kind of how things went down, because I think the end result has been really great. But the initial news of Spark being canceled was a surprise to all. I don't think anyone really had any advance notice on what was going down. Even us as the work group and the committee, we were a little surprised by the decision, but we understood the decision. We just didn't know what it meant. Like we didn't know where the conference was going to happen. We didn't know if it was just going to be something we do in Vegas. And we didn't know if there was going to be a virtual component. It was all up in the air. I will say that I spoke with Paul right after the decision was made. He called me, and I was like, "What is this number?" So I was like,
972.
I should probably pick it up, and I did, and we had an awesome conversation. And it was just saying, "Hey, here's what's gone down. Here's why we're having to do what we have to do. We have to look big picture here." And I got it. And I think all of us as a work group understood the position of PPAI. And we're now using this as an opportunity to try to do something different, maybe add this as a component moving forward. And, as PPAI has had such a strong push to make education free, this being an education and a networking platform, this year's conference moving completely virtual is also a free conference. So I can go a little bit more into what this year's conference looks like, but I'm happy to pause.
Yeah, let's pause. We'll come back to that.
Breathe.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Let you gather thoughts for a minute.
That was really good information, though, Stephen, because I'm not that much older than you guys, but when I was first in this industry in the early 2000s, I didn't even know about regional associations or if there even were any. So we didn't really have that mentorship or that even playing field, maybe I want to call it. And I kind of had to guess and check and kind of live by mistakes or learn by your mistakes. And networking, it was kind of like a free for all. So I feel like with things more organized like this, it's only going to give this new younger generation that's coming into this industry the benefit of the doubt. They're going to get that an even playing field of people. I think the networking education are such huge points in this industry. It's a relationship industry. You buy from who you trust, from who you like. And people that are my age and older, we've been here for a while, so we all know each other, and then you guys are coming in. I'm sure it does feel a little intimidating coming in and seeing all these people that already know each other, and you're kind of like the kid in the corner at the party who just got invited, but you really want to be friends with everybody. So I get that, and I think this is really cool. I wish they had something like this when I was a newbie.
Well, I think there's a big sort of initiative for PPAI too, to sort of look at the future of the industry first and foremost, and then how are we bringing more young people and more diverse people into the industry. And that was always sort of a lightning rod for me. Like when I first got involved with Spark, was that look, this is because it was always such a shock. Like you go to a lot of industry events, and let's face it, it's mainly a lot of old white dudes. Yeah. And so hopefully nobody gets offended by that, because it's not meant to be offensive at all. But we're not a very diverse industry, whether that's by gender or by color, by whatever. And so Spark was really cool because, it was an opportunity for a lot of young professionals in our industry to sort of create a sense of community amongst ourselves. And I'll be honest with you, watching it from its inception to where it is now, it's amazing. Like the second year that we did Spark in Vegas that you talked about, Stephen, the first year there was a decent turnout. I think we had 50 or 60 people there probably. And then the second year there was we capped it at 100, and we had a super long waiting list of people beyond the 100. And I think we actually opened it up to 125 folks, and there was still a lot of other people that couldn't get in, and people that were trying to figure out how to get in or didn't know about it. So the thing has grown so crazily, and there's been a lot of really great bonds created from the young professionals in the industry. And I think that sense of community sort of helps keep people in the industry. And that was always sort of part of the problem, is that I think there's a lot of young professionals getting into the industry, but necessarily not staying there, or they're taking on different roles. I know as a salesperson for a supplier now, I go into a lot of distributor offices, and there's a ton of young people working in these companies, in these distributorships, but they're not in your traditional sales roles. They're in, customer service or art and graphics or marketing or social media or whatever it might be. And so they're not necessarily, they're not getting out and sort of integrated into the networking of the industry that you see typically, whether it's on the regional level or whatever. And so that's one of the reasons why I got involved, because I thought there was such a huge potential there to sort of really create that community for the young people. And I was really proud to be the inaugural chair for Spark. Seth Barnett did a phenomenal job at sort of creating Spark and that vision for that. And it's been passed on, PPI has carried it on, beyond Seth, and it's been phenomenal. I know there's been a little bit of a rough patch, as I mentioned in previous conversations about Spark, but it sounds like things have gotten a lot better. And I'm excited. I am signed up for the conference that Meg posted the link for on the Permacorner Facebook page. In the comment section, I'm signed up for that event. I'm excited to go. And
I'm signing up as soon as we're off of here for sure. I want to awesome. See what I'm missing out on.
Absolutely.
Well, Jeff, you mentioned a good point, and all these events, even trade shows, are very limited to the types of people that go. Right? Most of it is sales, with an occasional customer service support person that attends these events. That's not what Spark is, right? So Spark is really that demographic for anybody. We really want to get connected to the art and graphics people, to the back office support folks, because we want to show them like the opportunity within the industry, the people in the industry, and just to get connected to one another. And over the past couple of years, I've met some amazing people. I've actually had the opportunity to even mentor some of them through going back to last week's conversation. So it's so cool, like in how you can expand the industry when you can get connected. And you did bring up another good point too, with the diversity in the industry and the longevity in the industry. And we've talked about this a little bit, and I really think it starts at most people don't know about the industry, right? So it has to go. We have to even start younger than the people that are in Spark, and when they're in school, letting people know about the industry, letting people know it's a career path opportunity. And that's really how we're going to drive a lot of change. And I think there's something to this type of an event where you're young in your careers or, life, and you can learn about this and learn about all the options and opportunities. And then to break it down a little bit further, I was going to mention this earlier, but, with the amount of people that go, it's been split 50% and 50% supplier distributors, almost right in half every year. And then under 3 years and over 3 years of industry experience, again, 50%. So you get a good mix of people coming from both sides of the industry, from both levels of experience. And we've actually have kind of divided that out into a Spark and Ignite type of a program to get specific education that relates to your level in the industry and to get paired up with one another. And also talking about last week, possibly working with the PK mentorship group and pointing people in that direction as well. So,
yeah. Very cool. So Taylor, Stephen brought up a good point. I know you may have mentioned this, and I apologize if I didn't hear you, but it's one of my favorite questions to always ask somebody is like, how did you figure out or find out about the industry, and how did you come into the industry, if that makes sense?
Purely by accident.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of our
Everybody.
dividing line. It's like you're either born into this industry or you stumble and fall into it. And I think it's kind of funny how we're almost having this conversation about how can we engage younger people? How can we pull people into this industry, and how can we connect with them early on? But I think that it's just as important to talk about the importance of really how do you network upstream as well. So, we're creating this base of young professionals in the industry who are connected to each other, who are learning about each other, and creating that community. But I think that what's so important is how can we then connect to the next level of professionals? How can we connect to the people who have been in this industry for a really long time? Because I think that there is kind of a stepping stone together where if we can connect with the people who are at kind of our peer level, it's going to help elevate our entire career moving forward. And then we're going to have that peer group to move up with us too.
So is that sort of in line with the mentorship that you're talking about, or are you talking about like opening Spark up to other?
So I think it goes, I think it goes a little more to networking, but also if I meet somebody at another, like let's say I meet a supplier and they might be kind of at my level in the career, they might connect me to their boss or their boss's boss, and that helps build my network even 1 to 2 steps beyond just going to Spark. And the marketing person at this company meets the marketing person at another company, and that's great. But really, people don't realize how exponential some of that indirect networking can really grow to.
Well, and I mean, you're talking about different companies working together. I mean, there's so much good stuff that comes out of collaboration in our industry as well. Like everybody's so, close knit or tight to the chest with a lot of stuff that they're doing. And I think where people have sort of let go of that and started to collaborate amongst each other, great things are happening. I mean, you look at promo standards, for instance, as being a sort of an example of that. I mean, look at how many different competitors, both on the supplier and distributor side, that are joint together in that incentive to sort of create something better for our industry. And there's a lot of other examples like that are happening. So I think that's I'd like to see more of that, to be honest with you. So
it takes good leadership to run things like that, like with promo standards. You've got John Norris, Del Denham. Who else am I missing? A couple people.
Is it Eric from HIT? Eric something. I don't know his last name.
Well, there's a lot of good leadership, and same with Spark. I mean, you three, which I would love. You know what I mean? Like it takes like-minded individuals that come together with same goals, or similar goals, and they want to just make this industry somewhere that they can. So I'm going to put it this way: during COVID, okay, when your gyms closed down, but you still paid them so that they would be there when you come out of this. It's kind of like that. That's kind of like Spark. You put some time and effort into it, so it's still here,
There you go. Fair enough. So, Taylor, you're getting a lot of love on Facebook. Just put that out there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Brandon Peckerich chimes in and says Spark is dope because it gives people, or gives a voice to people that might think that they haven't been around long enough to really have a voice. And
Sure.
I couldn't agree any more with that.
Well, and I think beyond that, it's a level of confidence, right? It's being able to feel confident when you're sitting in a meeting with people who are clearly way above the level in their career than you are, and having the confidence to speak up if you don't agree with something, or giving your perspective, and just kind of being able to put yourself out there. And I think what I kind of struggled with maybe early on was that I often felt embarrassed if I didn't know the answer to something, and that kind of was a big confidence hit for me. I had a hard time just like admitting it to myself, to the people in the room. But you kind of have to just get over that entire idea and just know that it's okay to ask questions. Actually, asking questions makes you a stronger leader no matter what. I mean, it's really learning how to listen and then trust what your gut tells you, because I think a lot of the time young professionals are guilty of downplaying what their skill level is and downplaying what value they're bringing to the table too. And so, I mean, that's another just excellent thing that I think Spark and other, organizations in the industry really do give to young professionals.
For sure. So Meg, before we sort of wrap up, I want to ask you a question from the outside, because I know you haven't really been involved in any of the Spark stuff, even though you could have been. You could have been.
Are you throwing shade at?
No, I'm not throwing shade at her at all. I'm saying, like, Spark's been around now, what, 3 or 4 years? You're not aged out. Like you could have, you could have done some conferences or something like that. But from that perspective, I just want to see sort of what your knowledge of Spark is and what maybe you would like to see from Spark, or, do you have any comments in regards to the?
No, I'm just, like I said, I don't even think I knew about Spark until this year, to be honest with you. And I would love to have been part of it. I mean, you guys look like, when I say you're having fun, you're having fun, but you're learning. You're bringing a community together to collaborate. And I'm just, like I said, I'm jealous that we didn't have something like that in my early years on in the industry. And I think by almost grooming and kind of like coming into this, I think that we're just going to have a really awesome industry when everyone else starts, replacing the old timers. And I don't know. I just think a lot of collaboration. I think it's great. Networking, education, just keep doing it. I just wish I had known about it when I was younger, or it was available when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, I'll blame you for not volunteering in the regional community beyond where you volunteered.
Cagney and CPBA.
So technically that's kind of where it started, just so you know. LDW, I don't know the year now, but it was at LDW sort of when the work group was kind of formed.
Yeah.
And the following year was like the first year that we sort of took it on. So, That's, and like anything, it takes a while to get the word out, and I think it's been put out there now for several years, and I think a lot of people are becoming familiar with what Spark is. And
it's an amazing opportunity. If you guys are doing it again in 2021, I highly recommend it. Just from the feedback from you guys and everyone that's gone, and you guys having a wait list, having that many people that want to be part of that community is just amazing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how PPAI handles that. For Steven and Taylor both being on the work group, like how you guys will handle the increase in demand at some level or at some point. And I know you sort of talked Ignite and how maybe separating that. And I know Jody sort of talked about Spark 2.0 type of deal as sort of something that might be on the chalkboard. But
yeah, not to get too much into the weeds there, but part of our limitations were based on our venue spaces. And I know PPAI had a contract, I believe, with Omni, if I'm not mistaken, and that's no longer, I believe. I think that ran out. So I think future years we can open it up to potential, new types of venue spaces. I don't know if that will help us with the capacity, but I know that was a factor for the last couple of years. But.
Yeah. So Amelia chimed in and said, "Meg, she's still older than you." And look at how cute you look today. Oh. Love the wrap. And then Charity chimed in, a special guest from not that long ago on the Industry Insider, and she said she'd love to see more Spark participants leading education sessions on how established companies can benefit from implementing fresh ideas. Very much needed, and I would agree. So with that being said, any other closing arguments or comments from any of you guys, or should we go ahead and read this ad from Tech World one more time? And
5 more minutes.
I would like to just give maybe a 30-second overview of what this year will look like if anyone's interested. So, July 16th, 10 to 5 p.m., all online. Oh, geez, what happened, Jeff?
Charity chimed in again. She says, Meg, you and her can lead the Too Old for Spark, Too Young for Carts rollover group.
Yeah.
I love the slogan, and I want the t-shirt.
I need to figure out what that acronym is, because that'd be great.
All right. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So this year's conference is focused around innovation. We've got a special guest, Julia Maddox, who will be leading a lot of the content. There's an innovation boot camp in the beginning. One of the things that you'll do if you register is we'll actually send you some stuff ahead of time for you to fill out, like survey questions. There's actually a short video to watch as well. And then we're going to do not only this innovation piece of it that Julia will lead, then we go into a break, but then we do discussion. We'll actually be able to break out people into individual groups as well. So when we do split for Spark and Ignite, we can pair people in different Zoom rooms with different folks, so everyone can have a voice and talk about different things. We'll also still have a roundtable type of discussion where the work group leaders will lead like different topics of conversation, where we can put people into different rooms and everyone can talk about them. We're going to do a pestle analysis to kind of go over the industry trends and things like that. Of course, there's going to be a happy hour and some games involved with all that. But that's in a nutshell. We're going to still, not only is it going to be, we talked about this in the very beginning. If it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be an innovative modern group, we can't not have the conference, and then not also make it innovative. So
yeah, it's gotta be, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do some things. And so it's not going to be 50 people's faces on a computer screen the whole day. You're going to be jumping around. There's going to be activities involved. We're going to have fun, and there'll still be breaks involved so you can get your work stuff done in the middle of the day there as well. But that's the conference in a nutshell, and we hope to see you there. So
sounds like
I'm
a lot of fun.
excited about it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be great.
Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. Awesome to have you today.
Absolutely.
Super
Absolutely.
fun.
But listen, guys, we got to talk about Tech World one more time, okay? All right,
Awesome.
because Tech World's got some USA made in the world filled with worry and regarding overseas products. They offer many USA made products to help separate themselves from the promotional pack. They've got hand sanitizers, and due to the coronavirus outbreak, it's something that's definitely trending worldwide. As Taylor mentioned, we're all in the PPE Association now. And listen, the CDC recommends sanitizer and washing hands and social distancing and all that good stuff. And TechWorld's got plenty of hand sanitizer SKUs that could help combat the spread. FDA compliant. Listen, they've got FDA compliant products all over the place. In a time of uncertainty, knowledge that a product is FDA compliant is key in allowing customers to feel at ease when placing your orders. And they've got custom packaging at TechWeld as well. They like to create new every day. Their custom packaging division is a great example of that. And each box takes on a life of its own, and they can work to meet your custom specifications regarding packaging as well. They've got they were the winner of the Distributor Choice Awards for sunglasses. TechWeld won the 2019 Distributor Choice Awards in the sunglasses category, and many of the SKUs for the sunglasses are also FDA approved and offer UVA and UVB protection. They've got cannabis products, so if you're looking at that, I'm sure that's still a booming industry. And they've got their new Leaf line. They have recently launched their cannabis line of products and would love word of mouth marketing to help promote the line. Come kit around with them. And it's an initiative to help push kits. And they've got 8 different stock packaging for their kits: EVA bag, PVC tent pouch, PVC tube, organza bag, pillow pouch, BTL 202 30-ounce tumbler, and a retro lunchbox. Not many players in the industry are focused too heavily on kits, which allows them to hone in on how to market these products and expand upon the already vast kit line that they have. Full color processed lunchboxes, whether as a decal imprint or a full color imprint, TechWeld's full color capabilities on their lunchboxes definitely set them apart from the pack. Visit www.techweld.com now to see their full color capabilities on their lunchboxes and acrylic awards, custom acrylic pieces, awards, phone stands, keychains, etc., both stock and custom. Their acrylic line focuses on different kinds of items, like the items mentioned in the talking points, produced at different sizes and with great quality. For the awards, it could be a great piece to promote incentive programs, promote professionalism at a reasonable cost. Visit techweld.com. And with that being said and done, guys, thank you so much for being here. Taylor, thank you for joining us today. It's definitely great to see you again, and look forward to seeing you at Spark. Meg, thank you for being here. Steven, thank you for being here. It's always good to see you guys.
It's always good to see you guys.
It's a highlight of the week.
Yeah.
And I love you guys very much. And Taylor, thanks for joining this week. And hopefully you had fun.
I did. This is great. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, guys, take care, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.